XRP, what is happening? The government opened back up. The first ETF hit yesterday, and people told us it would be at thousands of dollars. I think it's important that we put a different lens on. And this is a lens that I put on back in 2021 as I started to see how destructive hopium was, hype is, and I'll admit it. I was totally bought into the hopium and hype in 2020, 2021. You can go watch my videos. You can go back on my YouTube, 3T Warrior Academy. I was in that game. And guess what? I kept getting wrecked. And what I finally started to do, and I do know when it really changed for me, is when SEC sued Ripple. And I made a decision to hold on like a tick on a dog. I actually did a video on my YouTube when they did it. Everybody jumped out and I said, you know what? I'm holding on because I believe in this asset. That's the key factor. Now I'm about to share with you is my research. Do your own research. I only with authenticity share with you what I'm doing. That was the moment that everything changed for me. I was like, you know what? I got to stand on my own 2 feet. I need to grow up and be a fucking man. And I'm holding like a tick on a dog. Now I still had a lot of wisdom to gain. And I started to see people in crypto and investing and boom and bust cycles get absolutely wrecked. Because there's a thing called euphoria. There's a thing called hype. And there's a thing called hopium. And hopium is a drug. There's dates, there's riddlers, there's price predictions, and people grab onto this thing. But every single time the date passes and nothing happens, the person creating the date or the hope moves the line. Then I started to realize, wait a minute, this isn't how it works. So I started to study billionaires, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, Cathie Woods, Charlie Munger, people that were actually making real money, real moves. When you take a look at it, number one, they don't flex anything. They just talk strategy. They say the same things over and over and over again. They have real businesses, systems and processes and structure. And they really take a look at macro and microeconomics. They don't chase candles. They don't try to catch the top and they don't try to catch the bottom. Their teams are making strategic moves based on what's happening with the economy. And so at a small baby level, little coach JB started doing the same thing. When everybody ran from XRP, I stacked the shit out of it in 2022, 2023, 2024. Not only personally, but for my company. And I started to really consolidate into fundamental cryptocurrencies. But on top of that, I'm not a rubbernecker. I didn't watch it go up and watch it go down. And I wasn't allocated in one asset class. I did what they do. And I diversified. And I built a moat around my kingdom. Wisdom of King Solomon, richest man in Babylon. And I started earning $1 and making that dollar create a brother or sister. I started to compound money. So what's happening with XRP is much bigger. There's macroeconomic factors and forces happening right now in the greatest wealth transfer in history. From an old archaic banking system to a new banking system. There's a reason why elites, are stacking Bitcoin. There's a reason why Warren Buffett is sitting in the highest position in cash than he's ever had. There's a reason why people are moving to fixed supply assets. There's a reason why gold and silver is at an all-time high. Because you're literally watching the free fall of the value of the US dollar. And you think it's worthless now? They're going to stop quantitative tightening on December 1st. And they're going to turn this printing machine on full blast. And they're going to lower interest rates as low as humanly possible. And they are going to monetize more debt than you could ever imagine. And the problem with the indoctrinated American society is debt is our income. So the only way you can survive is to get more debt, refinance your debt, get the new 50-year mortgage, and you own nothing and be happy. Or you can start to study how the system actually works. Or you can start to make decisions in moving your income into cash flow. Or you can start taking that cash flow and buy assets that outpace inflation. Or you can start studying macro and microeconomics and debt cycles and debt bubbles. This is nothing new. It's not different. We're heading into a huge bubble. The next bubble is going to be AI. It will take all the markets down. And those sitting in fixed supply assets, those who have some of their money insured, will be the ones ready to buy at the cheap prices. Because that's how winning is done. Warren Buffett says to buy when there's blood in the streets. He didn't create the game. He just plays it different. He doesn't care what the price is. He cares what type of dividend it's paying. And he sees if it's a good deal and it's going to be here long term. So XRP is going to be here. Bitcoin is going to be here. Things like Solana are going to be here. I believe WFI is going to be here. HBAR, VeChain, and many others that you may like. but I put my money where my mouth is. I also insure a good amount of my wealth, creating my own family bank. And I also make sure that I get income into cash generating dividends. And then I de-risk all the cash flow into fixed supply assets. So what's happening with XRP? Same shit that's happening with all the crypto market and all of the stock market. You're watching a macro and microeconomic shift. And I still believe you're going to see, based on macroeconomic factors, a very bullish 2026. But remember, what goes up must come down, because there's only debt. You're either earning it, the interest, or you're paying it. That's it. That's your job, is to learn how to beat that system. That's your job, is to learn how to beat inflation. If you're not beating inflation, you become poor every single year. So I'm bullish as shit on XRP. I love that the price is staying low. So let me know in the comments what you're doing. Love you guys. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Love you.